All right. Good morning, Keller Williams, Greater Metropolitan, and welcome to another action-packed, exciting sales meeting. It has been a couple weeks since we have all had the chance to get together via Zoom because last week we were all hanging out together in person. So thank you all for all of you who made it out to our Q2 kickoff in person at the Independence Rec Center. We had a real big time, heard from some great panels, heard from a great keynote, and most importantly, got to get together as a company with nearly 100 agents there, spend some time together, network, and maybe even commiserate a little bit about the current state of the market and lack of inventory. So thank you all for everyone who came out. I'm really excited because today we're gonna spend a fair amount of time talking about another opportunity to bring all of our agents together, which is Red Day. We're going to talk a little bit about how Red Day came to be, what does Red Day actually stand for, and then how can I be involved in Red Day this year? But before that, want to jump into something that hopefully does not feel like it's getting old. These are the items known as our belief system, the Y4C2Ts, as they're affectionately referred to. And each week we like to kick off by talking about one of these as it pertains to the issues of the day. And so I typically on Monday nights will look at this and say, hey, what have I been talking to agents about? What have I been hearing out there that's really important? And the one that stands out, last night we had a very, very good dual career mastermind. So agents who are full-time real estate, full-time another career, and additionally maybe a full-time parent. So triple career, as we like to call that one. But what was interesting was the masterminding that was taking place and the conversation that was taking place was, it was nothing that you would have found to be particularly novel. It was about how do I manage my schedule? What are the best ways to lead generate? How do I manage expectations with clients, while I've got all these other things going on in my life? And what really stood out to me and got highlighted was creativity, right? We heard from agents who, are selling millions and millions a year in real estate while working 40 or 50 hours a week as a W-2 employee. And the aha was that they are committed to their goals. They've got their mindset right, dialed in on why they need to do what they need to do and what they want to accomplish. And then they got really creative on how they could get there. We heard about some reverse lead generation from Quan Brown. We heard about the power of dictating your schedule or dictating the schedule to your client from Janet Hayward, and maybe some things that we all could learn to grow our businesses only if we just stepped back and said, hey, what is it that I need to do, and what's a creative way to do it? Ideas before results. That's the one that stands out to me this week. So as you enter another week of multiple offers and have to show this house 10 minutes after it's on the market and can't get a hold of the listing agent, take a step back and think, what's a creative way? What's something I haven't tried yet, right? Because if you do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always got. And if we start to do something differently, what's the worst that can happen? You don't win in multiples. Well, you've been there before. You don't get a hold of the listing agent. You don't get there. You don't get the showing. But I'll encourage you this week and to try something new and take advantage of the opportunity and allow yourself to be creative. At our session last week on Wednesday, where we had all of us friends together for our in-person event, we talked about what's happening in the market. Inventory is getting so low. We're starting to see listings lag. We're starting to see sales lag. And it's time to break out our copy of Shift, What to Do When Times Get Tough. And so each week for the next 6 weeks, I'm going to be talking about 2 of the shift tactics and ways to succeed in tough real estate times. You will not be surprised about the first one, which is always the first thing in everything that we do in Keller Williams, which is focus on mindset. And this one gets the bonus of mindset and action, but it says get real and get right. And what I want you to do is, 6 months ago, we all got together in a room and built out business plans and set goals for ourselves. And those goals drove down to units. They drove down to transaction sides that we needed to complete. And those were based on some conversion rates, right? If I call 100 people, I'm going to get 10 appointments and maybe 1 under contract. What I want you to do is, in this get real, get right, is wrap your head around what the numbers really are. What have they been for the first 90 days of the year, right? They probably aren't what they were whenever you set your business plan back in October. And so we have the opportunity here to recalibrate and wrap our heads around it, right? It's not just about scratching out different numbers and, oh, now I got to call 125 people. I want you to really think about what that means from, 25% more work on the front end. What is that going to mean to other parts of your life? What is it going to require? Do you need somebody for accountability, encouragement, mindset, motivation? How can we as a company help each other as we reset our mindsets and then stay in action? The other thing, and I think everybody has heard me say something about this in the last, if anytime you talk to me, I'm always big on expense management and remargining your business, but also know that we are in a commission-based industry. And right now, commissions are up 15% because volume's up 15%, even though units are down. What I want you to do is go back to that first number that you had, get real and get right on the number of units, and then figure out what the new math on your gross commission income is going to be, and take advantage of the opportunity to understand that everything that was coming out of the funnel might not always be coming out of the funnel, or might not come out in the same way. So yeah, you might do 15% more volume, but if you do it on 20% fewer units, or your home prices might be up 15%, but if units are down 20%, you're making less money. If you're not prepared for that, and this is going to be a market that impacts units, not price, or excuse me, a shift that impacts units, not price. Price is likely to stay up due to inflation and just the scarcity factor. But the number of sides that will trade will be where the pressure is. So expense management is going to be important if you have less opportunities to make more money. As we jam through, like I said, the next 6 weeks, we're going to touch on a couple of these. And I encourage you, jot down a note, take an action that fits, right? I'm not encouraging a massive overhaul, and don't go batten down the hatches and prepare for the apocalypse. But if we make those micro adjustments to a macro environment, we can have really, really outstanding results and come out on the other side with the ever coveted market share that you want for your business. Speaking of market share, Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan continues to grow and continues to take more market share in the current market. And so we're doing that with the skillful contribution of all of these new agents who either moved their business to Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan in the month of March or started their career with Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan in the month of March. And so we are very, very excited. It was a big month for us, some really outstanding individuals. Our teams are growing. Our company is growing, and opportunities for you to leverage are growing as well. Also in March, some huge accomplishments by our agents. You're going to see here. I want to shout out a couple of people. If you are having trouble getting listings in Lorain County or Fairview Park or anywhere on the west side, look no further than blaming Jason Barron, who took 7 listings in the month of March. That's almost 2 a week going into busy season. So very strong March for Jason. Carol Joyner, who we heard from as a part of our panel last week on the How I Built This, took 6 listings last month. And then Darian, Tanya, and Rudy all rounding out our top 5 with 4 units sold. Bonnie Hunt had 5 units closed, along with John Murchison and Rudy Jones also had 5 closed each. So very big months of March there for those individual agents. For our top teams, all the way to your right, the Distinct Home Group took the top prize with 10 listings in the month of March and 9 closings. And shout out to the ARCO team with 5 closings for the month of March. And then in the group category, the young team took 31 listings and closed 60 units. So, wow, that truck keeps on trucking. But I want to recognize for closed units, 17 closings for the Chase Group, 15 for the List Sell Buy team, and a cool dozen for Eddie Golden and the Golden Group. So really strong performances all around for the month of March. I have no doubt that those numbers are going to be higher and higher as we move through the second quarter. We know we're expecting a little bit of a lumpy quarter with closings and deadlines, or closing dates being extended to leave people in their homes until it's not snowing on April 19th. So look forward to celebrating many more of you about those big wins throughout the year. All right, our upcoming training, we still have a lot on deck for the remainder of this month. So do not miss out. Don't sleep on the training calendar. And I just want to reiterate, if you guys didn't have the opportunity to join us last night for the mastermind, for dual career agents, that'll be up on the YouTube page. We did record that. It may not translate as well from a mastermind standpoint, but we want to provide that resource because we know so many of our agents are navigating the transition to real estate and full time. And so my commitment to you and the feedback from the group last night was, hey, this stuff is great. This stuff is really helpful. It helps build confidence. It helps us understand where to go next. You'll see more of that from us. So if you're watching this recording later today, because you're currently at work on Tuesday mornings, just know that we're going to be bringing more of those sort of opportunities down the pike. But what's coming in April? Well, first of all, please note this Friday, the office is closed. No, the office isn't closed. I'm sorry. The MCA team is out of the office. Sorry. MCA team is out of the office. So any commissions that you have that arrive or should be paid on 4/22 will be processed and paid on 4/25. Just a heads up there. And then from a training standpoint, or career night is coming on 4/25. So whenever we'll be doing this on the west side this time around. We had a tremendous turnout on the east side on the 11th between Zoom and in person. I think we had almost 20 individuals at various stages of their real estate journey join us. And the last time we did this one in Rocky River, which is the first time we had done one in there in a while, we had a great turnout. We had agents, we had guests, we had a lot of folks in the mix, and it was a lot of fun. So please, if you know somebody who should be in real estate, is interested in learning more about real estate, they don't have to be in classes. They can be, in their current role, they can be in classes. They could be a licensed agent somewhere else. This is an opportunity for them to get a crash course on what is Keller Williams, what do we do here and why is it leading to such great success for our agents? All right. And then if you need CE, look no further than Thursday, the 27th at 1 p.m., Wednesday, the 27th, Mike, Wednesday, the 27th at 1 p.m. in Pepper Pike. So 1 hour elective CE on GIS, mortgage location surveys, and boundary surveys. I'm told there's a difference. I don't know what it is. I will likely be there to learn myself. This Thursday in the Rocky River office at 11 a.m., Matt Chase is going to be leading our profit share mastermind. Matt's going to be talking about how he's built his profit share enterprise through co-brokes, right? So there's a fallacy that to be participating in profit share, you've got to be recruiting all these people and you've got to be cold calling, and it's just like building a real estate business. Matt's going to talk about, hey, look, you're doing deals. You have an intimate opportunity to build a relationship with however many people you do deals with each year. And there's some very subtle and very professional ways to invite people to learn more about our company. So Matt's going to talk about some systems and processes that he's put in that have allowed him to do that on a consistent basis throughout the years. And then Red Day, we're going to talk more and more about, but make sure that's on your calendars right now. And then, of course, anything that you haven't seen or caught, go to our YouTube channel. Usually within 24 to 48 hours, everything that we do on a training calendar is going to show up there. So, hit subscribe or whatever other things YouTube influencers tell you to do that to our page so that you have the opportunity to know when we're doing great stuff. And with that, we're going to kick it over to our partners, starting with two guys, number one on our roster and number one in our hearts, Sean and Don Direct.
Good morning, everybody. All right, a couple things just to push the, I guess, the excitement level up a notch for that survey class. Bill Fowler, we kind of sponsored that. Bill Fowler, great guy, great sense of humor, an hour. And I don't know if we'll say surveys are fun, but he'll make it good and worthwhile. So we'd love to get a good group together for that. So thanks for that. And then today's topic, we've chatted about it before, but with the current market, it's certainly worth chatting about. That is our fast track loan approval. So just dropped a flyer in the chat box. But, typically when we're doing, the new agent training and kind of just talking to our buyer, there's different stages of kind of pre-approval levels. So I usually say a pre-qualification. It's more or less a conversation between, the loan officer and the customer. And more or less saying, hey, based on what you're telling me, here's what I think we can do. Here's what I think you're qualified. Good conversation, dip your toe in the water, get an idea of monthly payment, down payment. Doesn't carry a whole lot of water as far as making an offer, but that's where the next step comes in with the pre-approval. With the pre-approval, we're saying, send us your W-2, send us your pay stub, send us your bank statements. And then, Don and I are doing, as I call it, a local pre-approval. We're issuing the pre-approval letter. Definitely, that's what, most buyers are running with and agents are asking for. And when an offer is submitted, the listing agent is calling us back based on that letter. There's one step above that with our fast track approval. And that's where, we collect all of these documents, but we also, if needed, do employment verification or asset verification. If they're self-employed, we may be getting transcripts from the IRS. The stuff that happens behind the scenes after a buyer is under contract, we can do all that up front and get it in front of an underwriter. And that is done, there's two big reasons for that. Number one, you got a buyer who's a little shaky, or maybe we are not comfortable issuing the traditional pre-approval. We'll put it through this system so we know ironclad, they're good. That $1,000 medical collection, we know it's not going to be a problem. Okay, they were off 6 months for COVID. We know that's not going to be a problem because we run it through the system. And then the other sort of benefit is speed. Telling your seller, hey, when you're making your offer, this is a fully underwritten pre-approval. We don't need 21 or 30 days to close. We can close this in 2 weeks as long as we can get that appraisal ordered and get that title work in and get homeowners insurance. So it makes you a stronger bidder as a buyer. But DJ.
There's really not a whole bunch I can add to that, aside from the fact if they're 20% down and we grab the property inspection waiver, also known as appraisal waiver, that'll just speed things up even more. So it's just timely. This is just timeliness. It just takes all the pressure off the transaction. You know, when you're presenting your offer, that's been fully underwritten. All conditions have been cleared. All documents are in. We just need the appraisal.
Couple quick questions, guys. What's the timeline if I am starting at zero and I'm like, hey, I want to get the fast track appraisal because I want to buy in May, and how long does it take me to pull all that together and get that sort of early underwriting opportunity?
So I usually say pre-qualification, 5 to 10 minutes. A pre-approval could be an hour, could be a couple of days. The fast track, I'd probably say budget for a week, just because if I'm talking to a buyer Monday morning, maybe I have their documents in hand Tuesday, Wednesday. It goes through our processing and underwriting. So it can be done, in days, under a week. Buyers are, especially when there's no contract, the urgency from a buyer is sometimes down. That pay stub or that W-2 from 2020 that we may or may not need might take a few extra days for them to dig up. But I would say budget for about a week.
Okay. And then is there an additional cost associated with this for the client?
I'm glad you asked, Mike, but no, there is no cost for a fast track approval.
So I want everybody to take this to heart. Things are not going to slow down. They're going to speed up. Things are not going to get easier. They're going to get harder. And the opportunity that we have at our fingertips right here is, this is damn near creating a cash offer scenario, right? It's still finance, but it's ironclad. What's the success rate? Probably north of 99%. On these, with all the work done on the front end. So if you've got folks that are looking but they're not writing, or they're writing and they're losing, is there anybody who would not be a good candidate for this?
No, it's a can't lose. And there's a few excuse me, there's a few agents who they won't take a buyer out. They're going to say, hey, Sean's going to get you a pre-approval letter, but we're not taking you out until you get the fast track approval. So some agents will go that hard and heavy with it.
Well, another thing this cleans up too is this takes away you have no idea how many times we hear from borrowers, I don't get pay stubs. Well, you do get pay stubs. They're just online. Well, I don't know where they're at. So we have to show them where to get them online. Or we are chasing that infamous page 5 of page 5 of 1 of 5.
Oh, yeah.
Last page is blank. Well, I threw it out. Well, we still need it. So I actually keep some blank page 5s on file just for that reason. But truly, no, that's the hardest document to get. This page is blank. The last page of 5 or 6 or 7, how many pages?
Last question, maybe. Does this pre-approval come across, like, does it say this is a fast track pre-approval? And is that like, if I put that in with my offer, is there additional weight there, or can I steer people into the conversation with you if there's additional weight there?
Yeah, you could absolutely write that in there. The pre-approval letter does read a little bit different, but that's usually where, hey, Sean, we're submitting an offer for Tom Smith with the fast track approval. Great. I'll do a follow-up phone call. Hey, Mr. Listing Agent, just want to let you know Tom's offer that just came in, that is a fully underwritten fast track approval. We can close in 2 weeks if, obviously if appraiser, everybody's on board. So maybe we'll get an appraisal waiver, but yes, that is absolutely encouraged to disclose.
That's awesome. I hope everybody makes note of this. This is a great way to supercharge an offer. We've got a very reputable local lender here. We've got a process that shows that not only is the buyer pre-approved, but they are pre-approved to the nth degree as far as they're going to be. So you're wiping out the majority of a contingency there. Take advantage of this, especially if you've got anybody that that is looking to buy. Oh, maybe after the kids get out of school, we're going to sort that out. We're going to figure it out in May, June. Have them start this right now. It does 2 things for you. It gets you a commitment that these folks are willing to do the things necessary to buy a home. Because as we always say, if they're not willing to get pre-approved, they're not willing to actually buy something. But this gets them in a position where they also have a little bit more in their arsenal when the time comes to do what they need to do. So take advantage of this. Please reach out to Sean and Don about this opportunity. If you've had buyers who haven't been able to win, if you've had buyers who are getting ready in the summer, or if you've got buyers who are just starting, this is a great way to bring additional value and supercharge that effort. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much.
Yep.
All right, over to Tiffany and Jade with Greater Metropolitan Title and Escrow. Good morning, ladies. How are you?
Good morning, everyone. I know I am going to sound like a broken record, but however, we are still getting a lot of earnest money mailed to our office. So please, guys, whatever you can do, please do not mail earnest money. Currently, it's taking about 7 to 10 business days for us to get mail at this time, which is causing a lot of frustration. So if you guys have a client that does not want to use ACH deposit or wire it to us, they're insisting on using a check, please let me know. I would be more than happy to come pick it up at either Rocky River or Pepper Pike. So please, please, please do not mail earnest money at this time.
To add to that, I would, Jade's going to put something in the chat and send an email out today where you guys can save it to your phone and text it to the buyer's agent. And just, it gives them the website, they can click on the link, it tells them exactly where to go to deposit the earnest money, and it discourages them from mailing it. Also, we will not accept earnest money drop-offs in our overnight slot. So if they insist on delivering it to us in person, they need to do so during business hours. Additionally, something fun and interesting I wanted to talk to everybody about today, or it's fun to me, is last year. So for any of you who are familiar with or invest in Bitcoin or any other kind of digital funds, it's definitely, you know, the first few years it was around, everyone's like, this is a fad, it's going to go away, it's not going anywhere. And I see our industry on the title side and the industry as a whole, definitely going to this with good funds here in the next, people are saying 10 years. I think it's far less than that. There's actually a third-party company that did a transaction last year where essentially the buyer took their Bitcoin, deposited it with this third-party company. They converted it to what's considered good funds and then deposited those good funds with the title company. So it was sort of an experiment. It was allowed by the state. As of now, there are no states that allow, every state has their own good funds laws. Ohio is no exception. So as of now, there are no states that have approved this particular process, but it's definitely something where they're testing the water, seeing where it's going to go. I think it's wonderful. And I'll just kind of keep my eye on it, let you guys know. And it's definitely something to look forward to in the future, where somebody can buy their house with their Bitcoin or any other digital funds. So if you've got a cash buyer, I highly doubt that, you know, it would be acceptable for down payments and things like that, especially if they're getting financing. That's probably much, much, much further down the line, because that, you know, that's all regulated by Fannie and Freddie and all that good stuff. And I'm sure Sean could speak to that at some point. But cash buyers, it's certainly going to be an option for them sooner than later. So just something to keep an eye on, something fun and interesting.
I love that. I love that. The conversation around blockchain and title is interesting. The conversation around cryptocurrency is interesting. And I'm still waiting for somebody to explain to me how these things called NFTs aren't just modern day Beanie Babies. So hopefully I can get that one resolved as well. All right.
I think they are just modern day Beanie Babies. But I dig the crypto. So
yeah. That's awesome. Well, thank you very much for that update, guys. Earnest money, if you have it, have Jade come pick it up. If your client wants to hand it over, they got to do it during business hours. And finally, if you are, if your easiest way to do it is digitally or through ACH transfer. All right, guys. Next up, Miss Gina Legeza. Gina, great to see you last week. Thank you for your support of our Q2 kickoff. What's going on in the world of home warranty?
My pleasure. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. You know, you wouldn't look outside right now and think judging by the white stuff on the ground, that AC season is upon us. But AC season is upon us. I'm told there's going to be 80-degree temperatures this weekend. With that in mind, our homeowners, our clients are going to be calling. Remember, for those that couldn't be tested in home inspections, 6, 7 months ago, whatever the case is, they have to use their system once and run it. Then, if it's a covered item, we're going to be there to help with the financial out-of-the-pocket expenditures. We know that over 70% of homeowners have a major system failure within the first 30, 60 days of home ownership. It's more important now than ever to make sure there's a home warranty on it. A lot of people don't know that you don't have to have a home inspection to have coverage. If you're writing a clean offer, your mortgage guy is telling you make sure the offer is clean, you can absolutely have them pay for a home warranty outside of closing. It's very simple. Our 1-800 number, all they have to do is call after closing and pay by credit card, and they are covered. They have protection. And lastly, just want to talk about how legal claims are up in this market. So make sure on our application page, there is a waiver part that you want to make sure you're offering the home warranty to all of your clients. If they don't want it, have them sign it. Julie and I work together, and Julia knows we cover so many claims legally for you guys. So just make sure that you're offering our warranty program, because remember, if you're named in a lawsuit, we're going to cover up to 75% of your E&O deductible. That's up to $3,750. So just some really good tips today and reminders of the importance of home warranty in every transaction. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good data. It's important to always be ahead in this real estate market, and talking about air conditioning while snow is on the ground certainly feels like we're ahead of the curve there.
Yes, thank you.
And I don't believe Jess is with us this morning, but as always, guys, if you know somebody who is an investor who or has any number of rental properties, there are great referral opportunities into our property management group. We're one of the largest in Northeast Ohio with close to 1,000 doors and growing. So the opportunities to add value to your clients outside of the transaction is something that will ingratiate you to them and will put you in a position to earn that business whenever they want to buy more properties or potentially sell. And so know that all referrals are honored at our property management company, so that whoever sends them in has first right of refusal if the owner indicates that they want to sell or divest some properties. So keep that in mind, and always talk to your investors about property management as they have to deal with evictions and leaky faucets. May become more and more attractive to them. All right, guys, let's talk about Red Day. Now, it's always amazing to me because we're always a company that's in growth mode. Every time we take a lap around the sun, there are dozens and dozens of people who don't know what this is, haven't heard about Red Day, and don't know why we're talking about it. So I wanted to take a couple minutes here to just talk about how Red Day even came to be. And so there's a woman in our company named Mo Anderson. She was with Gary Keller almost from the start, and at one time held the role of president for Keller Williams. She was instrumental in the expansion of our organization throughout the late 80s and early 90s. And she achieved tremendous results by focusing on one thing whenever she would bring Keller Williams to a new market. And it's something that I hope you've heard us talk about before. It's this C word called culture. And she would talk about culture everywhere that she went, and everything came down to culture, so much so that there is a list of Mo Anderson's 52 tenets of strong KW culture. my favorite among them. My favorite two tenets of culture are: one, if you're not profitable, you're not in culture. We are in business to fund our perfect lives, not to go into debt. And the second one is no swearing, which I have a really hard time with sometimes, but not all the time. But those tenets of culture show up in a lot of ways throughout our company here locally and internationally. And so Mo Anderson has a birthday in May, and the team at KWRI got together one day and they said, you know, hey, Mo, what do you want for your birthday? And she, you know, is a very humble and blessed woman. And she said, you know, I don't want for much. It would be really nice though if for my birthday we all went out and did some service together. Everybody takes the day off and let's give back to the community. And this is literally how Red Day began. Is that Mo Anderson opted out of a birthday gift and into what is a day of service for every single Keller Williams office around the world. So we have close to 900, and they're all going to close up shop, as we will, on May 12th of this year. It's always the second Thursday. And we're going to spread out throughout the sprawling metropolitan area of Northeast Ohio and do some good in our community. And so Carrie just dropped into the chat where you can sign up. So we have close to 200 spots available for folks to volunteer. And in case you're wondering, yes, this is something that you all should be doing. This is great Instagram and Facebook fodder. Yes, this is a great form of lead generation as you're going to be meeting people out in the community. And yes, this is a great thing to bring other agents or your friends or your clients to, because it is a demonstration of our culture. And so Red Day stands for Renew, Energize, and Donate. And so we're going to renew and refresh parts of our community. We're going to energize ourselves. We're going to donate our time. So let's talk about where we're going to do that. One of the fan favorites is MedWish. So MedWish is a company that receives donated medical supplies and then repackages them and sends them throughout the world to countries in need. And so we have 2 shifts here, about 20 to 25 people per shift. I will warn you, these fill up fast. So make sure that you are jotting down which one you want to do and then signing up. But this is fun. Work in a big group, meet some other agents, rock out to some music, and really achieve a sense of accomplishment, because you're going to start the day with a bunch of boxes of random stuff. And then you're going to have it sorted and ready to ship out by the end of your shift. So here you can see our group from last year that had a ton of fun as well. Next is the Fatima Family Center. So they, this establishment, we have a long-standing relationship with, and they provide events, recreation, educational opportunities, and support services to families in Cleveland. And so we're going to volunteer on Seniors Day. So we're going to be working, running some games, delivering lunches, playing bingo, some parking lot dancing going on there, which is always a real good time. And then we're also, for the youth of the community, they always end up with all these bicycles that need repair or they get donated that are in disrepair. And so we'll have a group of folks out there working on doing some light repair and tune up to the bicycles that they have to get them to some kiddos and get those kiddos riding around the neighborhood. So as you can see, there's some shots of last year's Fatima opportunity. And then big thank you to Pete Formica, who organizes an opportunity for us to do maintenance and landscaping at Georgia's house, which is in Oberlin, Ohio, and is a women's recovery shelter. So we're out there doing projects that beautify the property and make the environment for those women a little bit better to be in. Always a fun time, always a good time to get out there, put in a little sweat equity. And you can see members of the Safe Harbor team, the Golden Group, and Wendy and David Dixon there last year. Next, Ronald McDonald House. This is one that we actually haven't been able to do since the pandemic, I believe. So thank you, Jane Evans, for staying on top of this one. A really powerful, really powerful charity in Ronald McDonald House. They do a tremendous amount of good. And so similarly, we will be doing some light, well, maybe not light. We'll be doing some landscaping and some yard work and some beautification projects to one of their facilities here in Northeast Ohio. If you don't know about Ronald McDonald House Charities, I encourage you to check it out. They provide a lot of different things to kids with serious illness and also support families that might not be able to afford lodging while their child is in the hospital. So they put folks up all the time. It's a very, very, very powerful entity. And then we have, excuse me. Oh, we're going to Avon Lake this year for George's house. My apologies. Thank you very much, Allison. And then thank you to Liz Kosminski for bringing, I think it was either Liz Kosminski or Sam Krieger. Thank you both for bringing this opportunity to work with the Kids Book Bank, which is a program or an entity that fosters literacy and literacy programs for the youth of Northeast Ohio. And so we're going to have some opportunities to get on site in large groups and start sorting, cataloging books. I promise there's no requirement to have mastered the Dewey Decimal System to participate in this particular event, though I do think there are bonus points there for anyone who remembers that from third grade library time. And then our final opportunity for this year, big thank you to the Lisa Cisco team for consistently organizing this opportunity to support Lake County veterans. And so there are about 10 individuals throughout Lake County that we will be serving through lawn care, landscaping, yard work, and some light maintenance on Red Day. 10 veterans, and this is a really fun time. The recipients of our support are incredibly gracious and some of them can't help but come out there and do it alongside us. But it is a very, very, very fun and very rewarding activity, and we are greatly appreciative of the Lisa Cisco team as well as Stuart and Stuart Kahn and Debbie Rubinskis, who help us organize that on a consistent basis. So that is the rundown of our Red Day opportunities. Carrie's going to drop back in the chat one more time that sign up link. Additionally, we have shirts available. Who doesn't love some swag? And so we have nothing's better than hitting the town en masse with all of your KW siblings and community members, and all rocking the same gear. So there's also a link to order a t-shirt as well. So that'll be a ton of fun. So for those of you who have done Red Day before, or, you know, hey, the post-pandemic era and during the pandemic era, Red Day was a little bit different. We're really excited this year as well to bring back the post-Red Day happy hour. So thrilled for the opportunity that as we all spread out throughout the city and do good for those individuals in our community, we will also be coming together to celebrate the day and do some of that energizing at Masthead Brewing, which is in downtown Cleveland. Masthead Brewing from 3 p.m. celebrating a very successful Red Day. If you have questions about Red Day, if you are interested in learning more about any of those opportunities, please reach out to myself, Carrie, or Allison Benoit and Sam Krieger, who have led the charge on organizing Red Day and getting these opportunities nailed and in stone for us on what is going to be a very big, very fun, very exciting day. You're going to continue to hear more about this. And the easiest way to stop hearing more about this is to sign up and roll up your sleeves and get excited about helping others in the community. All right, guys, that is all she wrote for today. Thank you so much. Mark your calendars now, sign up now, Red Day, May 12th, 2022. And we will see you out in the field. Until then, we will see you next week back here for your Market Center update on April 26th to round out the month of April. Can you believe it? It's almost over. Have a great day, guys. Make it a great week. Can't wait to see you next week and on Red Day. Thanks so much.